morning, everybody. Welcome to Winterberg in Germany. It's World Cup number 5 of the Viessmann women's bobsleigh campaign. And in a cold and now less rainy than it was early Winterberg, Germany, we have 22 sleds getting ready to take on the ice for the first of 2 runs to decide the medals here. First race in Europe for the tour, first race in Germany as well. I'm Martin Haven, and alongside me is bobsleigh legend John Morgan. John, we woke this morning to rain pitter-pattering on the windows again, but thankfully, looks like it may have blown through.
The weather gods have held off. Good for the athletes. It's okay for us because we're in a booth, but this Winterberg track does have a lot of Mother Nature involved. Yesterday we saw water running right down the track during the 4-man competition. It's a short 1,300-meter track. Look how it drops off right here. Very steep. Myers and Eberling from the US has the track record. Curve 1, real pivotal part of the track. They installed that about 7 years ago, and that's changed the personality of this short, easy track that comes out of curve 3, exits uphill at 4. Look at this, going uphill, very slow. No mistakes allowed. Out of 5, so meticulous on the steering gear. You're still accelerating. You cannot afford one tap of the wall. Now in a Kreisel, the big 270-degree whip around. You have to hit your mark, exit with a slingshot effect onto the bottom. This is where the sleds start to reach 70+ miles an hour, 130 clicks. Curve 9, a lot of accidents in curve 9 and 4-man bob. Now in the labyrinths, quick 11, 12, 13. Look how quick this is, 80 miles an hour here. Into the finish, you exit coming uphill. Very easy track to get down. It's been very hard to get down fast.
As you said, Alana Myers and Casey Eberling of the USA with the start record. The track record set last year's race by Anja Schneider. Alana Myers of the USA is our World Cup points leader this season, ahead of reigning world champion, Olympic champion, and World Cup champion Kaylee Humphries. Jamie Grubel and Jasmine Fenley for the USA also had really strong campaigns in the North American swing, and only Kathleen Martini from Europe is featuring in the top 5 positions. Well, we have 22 sleds in our entry list today. Only 20 go through into the second heat. There's the woman they are all looking to try and beat, the Olympic champion Kaylee Humphries, and she is just keeping that momentum going. From 2010 Vancouver, John Morgan, she has pretty much taken over from Sandra Curiosis of Germany as the de facto benchmark in women's bobsled.
Well, there's Curiosis, 36, 37 years old, and doesn't start the sled like Kaylee Humphries. That's the key. This track, it's about a start time, but Kaylee Humphries is starting to develop into a great driver like Curiosis, who dominated the sport in the last 10 years. Up until the last 2 years when Humphries won her gold medal in Vancouver in 2010. Humphries has been the athlete to beat since that benchmark moment.
Top of the track, the first of our 22 sleds here in Winterberg is Kathleen Martini, the 31-year-old policewoman from Zwickau in eastern Germany. The colors of her local region, Saxony, the bright green on her sled. Kristen Senkel, also from Saxony, from eastern Germany, 26-year-old brakewoman. Kathleen Martini, twice a winner on this track, 2011-12, 2 seasons ago, and 2 years before that as well.
She really gives up a lot of time at the start. But if they had a computer analysis of who's the best driver in each track, which they do from point A to point B, she is one of the best drivers on tour. And if she has 2 perfect runs here, she will medal. But 2 perfect runs, it's tough. There's no lets here. This is not tennis. Both heats combined. Cumulative time at the bottom determines the podium finishers. This is the rabbit. Martini down the track with a 5:78 start, which tells me the 5:55 track record could be in jeopardy today. She's usually 15 to 25 hundredths down at the start. There's a tap before 9. Speed 96.2. Keep track of that speed in the box score. What's the violence out of 13? How hard is she hit? Very soft. good speed, 128.7, which is right on the 80-mile-an-hour mark. 58.29, which is considerably off the track record, almost a second and a half.
Yeah, second and a half away, and with the soft ice conditions, that's not a surprise. Last year, very cold, very icy, very fast here in Winterberg. This year, not even a flake of snow. Former German drivers.
What a lineup that is. Matthias Hoffner and Rennie Spies, both former World Cup event winners and World Championship medalists. Coaches picking up the sleds at the bottom.
And of course, the great Christoph Langen is the chief coach as well for the German Sled Federation. They've got so much brain power.
That's probably one of the better lines we'll see, but she is one of the best drivers out here. But she needs to be perfect both runs to have a chance to medal. And
next up, another medalist already this season, Jasmine Fenley to the USA 28 from Ewing, New Jersey. And her brakewoman, 4x100 Olympic champion in London last summer, Lauren Williams. What a catch this woman is for the US bobsled team.
Diminutive in size, but powerful. 562. This young lady is, the USA's got 5 awesome female brakemen. They've got 3 different brakemen with the 3 different drivers. These combinations the US has in this race is different than any previous race so far this year. Fenley can be erratic, but when she does post the good runs, she is right there with everybody. Has medaled already.
And of course, this year, John, the women have got brand new sleds. They've all got the BMW built 2-man as well. That very distinctive sharp edge rising up the bodywork. Very different to handle, they tell us, compared to what they've raced before. And a little wild there.
A little wild at 9, but she's got a big, how violent will this hit be on the left side of our screen? Not bad. 128.5. She just beat Martini by almost 0.3 of a second. Wow, that is some awesome run by Jasmine Fenley.
It's a great run. I was taking a look at the sleds earlier, and there's a lot of trick little bits of aerodynamics on these sleds, but that was a good drive.
She beat Martini by 1/1600ths at the start, which should be 4800ths at the bottom.
That's how happy are they? Listen to that.
That is a good telltale sign for the United States, not so for the Germans. Here's in 9. She won't be the first person looking at the wood there. And watch the little skid here. What a great camera angle this is. She is skidding, coming into the middle part of the curve. Now she has to steer really hard in 10. That erases speed. Whoever gets through curve 9 straight and has a good start time is going to win the event.
Next up, Caroline Spani of Switzerland, 31-year-old former brakewoman. And Spani started driving just 4 or 5 years ago. World champion with Sabine Hefner. Started driving, in fact, in 2010 season, so really part of Switzerland's development program.
This athlete is developing into a very good driver, but the speed she needs, look at that, 569, that's not a bad start. It's not bad, it's better than Martini's start.
Yeah. Well, again, it's this thing that we've seen so often now, is the brakewomen transferring onto the front handle, bringing real power to the sled.
But Fabian Meyer, her teammate, that's who her races today. She is emerging as Switzerland #1. And going into the Olympic Games with that designation draws more sponsorship, more media attention. And Meyer was the former junior world champion driver that everybody had the great hopes for. But this athlete here, Spani, has developed a better driving skill.
And the chances are, John, Switzerland may not get the option to take 2 sleds. Only a limited number of nations will in the women's game.
Ooh, that's violent.
And that's
this is fast, though.
It is fast.
This is fast.
Very quick. How far behind? She's in front of Martini as well.
That is awesome for that start time. She was 700ths behind at the start, should be 2/10ths behind, so she drove a better sled than Jasmine Fenley. She got through 9 better, but boy, on the edge of 13, 14, she was making a mistake. Caroline Spani has really, really improved her skills. The brakeman gets in here slipping. Look at that. Whoa,
yeah.
We didn't see that.
And
how about the camera work we're getting?
Yeah, I know, great, aren't they? The guys in the back seat in the EVS, the tape replay machines, they're all selling these replays like nobody's business. Great replay. Elizabeth Craft, think how much quicker they might have been in the first few corners.
Yeah,
Next up, first of two Belgian sleds. Back with two again. Elfie Willemsen, 28-year-old. She was a former brakewoman and turned driver. And of course, famously in the run-up to the Vancouver Games, the Belgian bobsleigh program was basically recreated, started from scratch as part of a reality TV program.
Belgian bullets. They have in their four-wheel drive vehicle driving around Europe. And of course, I owe an apology to Marion. She is a 4x100-meter sprinter. I keep saying she's a track cyclist, so they caught me at the top of the track of the day. I stand corrected.
Olympic silver medalist as well at 4x1. So
awesome track and field athlete in the back, which reflects the crossover from track and field. There's so many athletes from the athletes in Beijing and the London Games that are in the sport now in the back seat. It just shows the testament of how the sport continues to draw world-class athletes. And Wilkinson just gives the fourth best start so far, but she has been flying down every track. Her driving skills have really improved. A couple top 10 finishes this year.
On split times, she too is ahead of Kathleen Martini at the moment. 1600s back, she's pulling them in.
This is flying.
She is racked
that speed by a lot.
Speed of that
shocking.
Second place. Oh my word. Well, the Belgian Federation, the guys that we were talking to last night, are jumping up now with excitement.
Shocking. She's shocking.
29 kilometers at the bottom. That's the fastest we've seen.
I want to go to the second computer class. I can't believe this. I mean, what a drive. No violent here. She hits. She had kilometer speed better than Kathleen Martini on the bottom part of this track. And of course, she's got that coach. Look at this. Look at this speed. That's unbelievable that she can develop that speed on this track with that start time. Healthy. Wow.
Look at that. Happy girls, and rightly so. Now then, next up is 30-year-old Russian Olga Stulneva. Olga, one of three Russian sleds here. And again, John, the battle on to be the first or second of the Russians and guarantee yourself a chance to go to Sochi. On the right, Yanis Minins formerly coached the Belgians. He's now coaching the Russian girls.
Third straight sled with an Olympic medalist in it.
Yes.
This one's driving, though. The other two were on the back, the brakes.
Ludmila Orobkina, the brakewoman, and also a 200-meter sprinter at world-class level.
Great start speed.
5:66, another quick getaway.
Wow. She gets clean down here. The track somehow decided to get fast on the bottom. What we just saw from the Belgian bullets was awesome. I have never seen them beat the Germans on a German track by 1 kilometer an hour on the bottom part of the track. Just a little stunning for 9:15 in the morning.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to hear from Kathleen Martini, twice a winner on this track.
Those are good lines there, but she's got red numbers to overcome. It's way back. No speed, but the lowest speed, 200 kilometers down to Belgium. Fifth. That you expect right there. Her placing, her time, this is what you expect from this Russian athlete.
But taking the other three out, she's only 400 slower than Kathleen Martini, so that reflects very well on her.
I also think Martini might have had a bad draw being number one off this track. She might have to get the frost out of the drive lines. Look at the athleticism here of these two athletes. Look at, again, an Olympic silver medalist from the Athens Olympic Games in the front seat of this sled. Track and field, they have just crossed over more into women's bob than men's bob. There's more summer Olympic medalists in the women's bob than there is men's bob.
Jasmine Fenley of the USA leads a tight race with 5 of our 20 sleds down, 22 sleds. Next up, she turned 39 yesterday. She is still burning as brightly and competitively as ever. Sandra Curiosis started her career in Altenburg, now based here in Winterberg. This is home ice for her.
Well, seeing what Belgium just did with a deficient start time, I got to believe Curiosis is going to do it too. She's got a chance to take the lead here. Any kind of a start, 76 not bad, 61 flat here, the speed on the left, 60.8 not as good. But boy, Elfie Williamson just came down from Belgium, posted that type of speed at the bottom. This athlete here, at 39 years old, could do it. There's no one with better eyes than she has, and that's how she lives in the sport.
She was very relaxed this morning before the start. You know, she lives just up the road. She's been sleeping in her own bed, and she's just so at home here. But she is in the red, 2/10 behind Jasmine.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
Comes.
Here she comes. This is going to be the leader. Perfect lines. This might be 130-kilometer speed down here, too. Watch the hit right here. How hard? Not bad. 129.6, not what Williamson had, but she should be the leader. Close. 20 hundredths.
Wow, that's good.
That, expect that. We expect that.
Yeah. One good turn down the bottom below the labyrinth, and you're in.
Yeah, this is on par for what our knowledge of the sport is, to see her 2/10 in front of the Belgians and Jasmine Fenley on this track.
Look at her eyes. Look at the reaction. She's delighted with that drive.
She gives up time at the start. Look at the Adidas spikes, the 1/16 of an inch grooves, 375 of them there that allow you to run across the ice and get in, get down, and grab those D-rings before you come out of the start grooves. Look how close she is. Yeah, she's out of the start grooves. How is this violent hit? I mean, this is the secret. You're going to hit here, but how hard do you hit? Bang, bang. That was like a double. The best person through there was Williamson.
Yep. Alexandra's been doing this for 20 years. Jamie Grubel considerably less. The American girl with Asia Evans behind her. Still in her second year of World Cup action, 31-year-old from your hometown, John, Lake Placid, New York. Again, Asia Evans coming into the program last year. Such a great talent haul in the US.
Track and field, again, 5:59. Wow, the speed, 61.5, 61.3. Now, she's got a half-kilometer speed on Curiosis, who just came down, and she better make her hay up here. She better not make any mistake up here. Now, watch out, a curve 4-5. Does she keep the sled in the middle here? No, that'll cost her. Curiosis came right down the middle of the track. 26, that lead could still evaporate down here. Has to be perfect. How's the line here?
Good speed on. What about speed below? The Chrysler 97.1 is still good. 1600s up. She's going to be in contention.
There. She's going to need the 129-kilometer speed down here to maintain the lead. It's going to be close. That was violent. Good speed. This is going to be right to the 100. Either way.
And she's in front by 700ths of a second. No wonder Todd Hayes and Brian Schreimer, the coaches, look happy with that.
Hey, she beat Curiosis by 1700ths of a second at the top. And this is what Curiosis used to beat everybody with the best start. Now there's 5, 6, 7 teams that go right by her at the start, and she can't afford to make any mistakes. But here, look at the athleticism. Grubel, track and field athlete. Watch her elbow here. She's just getting in, and it catches on the front of it. Look, she wants to get the D-rings before she comes out of those grooves. She did.
You got to get in, drop your elbows in, one hand.
2 hands, and then here's the line and the exit of Kreisel. It's good. Jamie Grubel, the track and field athlete from Cornell University.
She has the lead. Next up, Anja Schneider. Bronze medal last year, silver the 2 previous years. Former double world champion brakewoman was Sandra Curiosis.
And this German athlete could challenge and start. She should get 64, 65 start time or better. 59! Wow! So the Germans finally have somebody who could start the sled, and she had better velocity than Grubel.
She's always been the star monster for Germany, hasn't she?
Gold medalist in 2006 in the back of Curiosis sled. Took her a few years to learn how to drive and emerge off the Europa Cup circuit to get into this position. But of course, she's got Martini and Curiosis ahead of her. That's going down to 391.9's good speed. Shaky there.
Speeds are very similar to Jamie Grubel. One little tap will decide it. 200ths of a second.
Those are good lines. How violent will the hit be on the exit of 13 coming up? Smooth. Flat. doesn't have the speed. She'll drop to second or third, probably second place.
Wow, 300s in between Grubel and Curiosis, 700 for the second, the top three. Wow. Everybody kind of expected that Canada and USA would be strong at the beginning of the season, John. Ice, they know, maybe better than the Europeans, even the most experienced. But that's continuing here in Germany.
You've got to hit this start together. Watch the brakeman and the driver. They don't hit it together. The brakeman hits first, then the driver hits the bar. You have to synchronize that to the exact 100th of a second to have this synchronized explosion off the block. Here, how violent, I keep talking about it, is not, that wasn't violent at all. That almost was simultaneous, the front and back pump. No speed though. She was a kilometer and a half down to the top sled.
Next up is our world champion, our World Cup champion, our Olympic champion, and breaking her back in World Cup competition for the first time in 3 seasons, our world push champion, Heather Moyse. Well, this is Canada's golden combination, isn't it?
Put your seatbelts on.
Oh, yeah.
We're probably going to see here, this start record could go down right here. This could be 54 or 55. There it is,
wow,
51.
If there is a better brake woman at the moment than Heather Moyse, I'm not quite sure who it is.
She's got some hips down to those toes. She's got some power levers in those 2 legs for her. Now, Humphreys, who knows how to drive, with that type of start, it's her race to lose. And I'm surprised she's only got 0.10 of a lead, though, at this point. Should be more.
Of course, Kaylee started out vying for spots braking sleds with Heather Moyse. She against her as a brake woman, now she's with her as a partner.
And she lost time up top of the track on the exit of 4-5. And this, she's not going to beat a leader. Speed way off, 2 kilometers off. Her mistake was way up top before the entrance to Kreisel. She had a little drift. Curved 4 to 5 in the entrance to Kreisel, because right away that 12-1500 start advantage she had went away.
A little bit of a different runner setup for Kaylee this morning, using fat front runners and thinner rear runners, which has been working very well for the American sleds. A couple of little errors there. She doesn't look happy with that run.
Watch the start record. Watch the athleticism. Look how close she is to the cowling. Look at the power step getting in. Watch Moyse. Watch her lever. Watch her in, arms up, down. You talk about choreography on ice. There it is. And that's why these two are the best in the world at pushing a bobsled.
And Heather's leg speed is quite exceptional as well. She's not big and square and chunky. She's an ex-rugby player, still a current rugby player, in fact, but so quick. Well, next up, Alana Myers with Lolo Jones. Alana, our World Cup points leader, winner Salt Lake City, winner Salt Lake City in the double race for women's bobsleigh.
This is a very important heat for Lolo Jones. This is USA selection going on. Reset, reset. Yep. They got time. You see the clock up there running. They still got time. Reset. The clock is 0. You look at Jones's feet.
Yeah, she has a really low stride, doesn't she? Very distinctive.
5.64. That's it's way off. She's not even as good as Grubel. Oh, it just didn't look like she had any kind of stride. We'll see what type of... The 5 to 5 is good. 5 to 5. With that deficiency, she should have been 5 to 15 or something. So let's see if she gets it down to 0 here going into down to 4.
Well, Alana has not been out of the top 2 this season, Johnson. There's no question she can drive this BMW sled.
Well, she skidded there. The exit, that's up to 7. That skid, the exit of Kreisel, got on the wrong side and came off Kreisel. Looks like a little late.
Speed, 700s cover the top 3. She's outside that, and
really
that
hard,
but quick.
Yeah, but really hard. 6. Yeah, she lost a lot of time on that violent hit. She hit the hardest out of 13, and that hit forced her into the middle of the finish curve. And then if they show us the finish curve, you can see her. She had a W. She drove up and down in it, and that 129 speed was knocked off. So not a good drive. Here's up top of the track. Look at the tap there. That's 9, entrance 8 to 9. And then here sets her up for 9 into 10. Speed part of the track. Watch the violence here. And watch how the sled comes to the right side of our screen after this hit. She like steers away. Look at it. Boy, it launches into the middle of the curve. She had to steer hard twice to get off that finish curve.
5th place, 1400ths of a second cover our top 5, as we've had 10 of our 22 sleds here in Winterberg. Fans, young and old, lining the track here in Winterberg in Germany. Lots of them from the Netherlands, just a 2-hour drive away. And here is Esme Campus with Judith Viess, the #1 great woman for Netherlands, behind a 30-year-old doctor.
A lot of media. Big push-off that the Dutch had in Oberhof, Germany during the Christmas break, and the other brakeman, Decker, she lost in the push-off to Judith Viess and this other new Dutch athlete. A lot of media in the Dutch press about this. A lot of media coverage for the Dutch, or the men's team. And it would be very good for the Dutch program if Kamphuis came down here with a good run, because there is a lot of Dutch media here. This is their home track.
Good speed from her as well. 1700s back. This will put her in top 5 or 6 positions.
Speed. She has a, watch the violence here. What's this hit look like? Not bad speed. 128 speed's not that good. Probably 6th or 7th.
Let's see if she comes in the top 6. No, just outside by 300ths of a second behind Jasmine Fenley. She's in 7th spot. Kathleen Martini, 10th of the 11 sleds that have gone down so far.
Shocking.
The Kathleen Martini that won 2 years ago and 4 years ago on this track.
Look at the athleticism. Look how high Judith Viess' knees are coming up. Look at that. You notice the knee turnover and drive. Some people don't like your knees to be that high. Look at her. Look at the flexibility there. Look at those power strides. Both of those girls ran a long ways. Yeah. Now down here, ooh, look at that little tap in before 9. That forces you over. You have to steer twice. Steering, friction.
Well, you did another really tall athlete. Next up is the baby-faced assassin, Great Britain's Paula Walker, with big Bex Wilson behind her in the GB sled. 3 Great Britain sleds here in the women's race.
Look at this size of these two.
Yeah.
The driver's 6'2", brakeman's about 5'2". Usually it's the other way around.
Yep.
So, you know, the Brits, their typical way of doing things.
Paula Walker, former junior world champion.
Walker is a good pilot. She's going to get probably a 68, 69 start time, 70. 68. So speed, 61 flat, 61.2. Good velocity entry into the sled. Now all she needs to do is to be perfect, especially up here in the slow part of the track. Watch this next curve coming up here. 4-5. Down the middle, right down the middle we need it here. No, there it is, bang, that takes away all your speed before you come into the slingshot effect on the bottom part of the track right here, Kreisel. She's a ½ kilometer plus down. Which side did she come on? Another skid. Exit was a little late. Taps before 9.
Some of the taps on this track, John, are impossible to avoid. 9, 13 as well. You always are going to hit there. It's how hard you hit that makes a difference.
No speed. That's probably got 2nd worst speed of anybody coming down.
Yeah, that's a surprise because that wasn't a wild ride. 12th place.
Yeah, they were hoping much better for that from Paula Walker.
That looked tidier than a 12th spot run.
For having a 7th best start time and a 12th best finish, that's not her character. She is usually, with that type of start, she should have been in the top 7 or 8 easy.
Yeah.
She knows it. Well, we talk about little taps here, and look at the brakeman back there. You can barely see her. Paula's eyes, that 6'2" frame. She gets in there nicely. Look at the line coming off of 10, you know, into the 3-corner combination they call the labyrinth on the bottom part of the track where the sleds are achieving 80-mile-an-hour speeds.
2008 junior world champion Fabienne Meyer. For the last 3 or 4 seasons, she's been the #1, in fact, often the only Swiss athlete in women's bobsleigh. But now she is on the back foot. Her colleague, Caroline Spani, has outscored her all season long.
And Tanya Meyer, her brakeman, a heptathlete. She was in for headshots yesterday. Very positive and track and field background. See what they could do at the start. 5:72, not too bad. And Meyer, again, this is a race within a race. She probably thinks she can't win a medal today, but she wants to beat her teammate Caroline Spani. Spani right now is in 9th place, had a better start by 300ths. I'll guarantee you, she gets out of the sled, first thing she's going to ask, did I beat Spani?
Yeah, that's what it's about now, definitely, for these girls.
There's a tap there. That's a very costly tap there before 9. 1800s back. This looks like a top 10 run, maybe. She's got to achieve big speed in the city of sleds from Switzerland, usually do on the bottom part of the track. Spani was flying no speed. So now you got to start to ask the question, is the track give it up? Look at her duck her head there at the finish line.
Yep.
That's pretty brave. Eric Gallard, the coach.
That's one of her real hallmarks, isn't it? You can never see her helmet as she comes across
Look
the
at
finish
this.
line.
She's 100th of a second out of 9th. Her teammate Spani is in 9th. 100th of a second.
Yeah. Gotta love that inter-team rivalry.
Yeah, the power step in. Brakeman looks like she gets in a little early, really early. Remember, we saw the Dutch girls running way past this point. Here, the Tulper in the sled very early. And then down here, and 8 to 9, pushes her in the middle. She's got to steer once. She goes low, back down, back up. It's the least amount of steering. It's not the person who drives the most that wins. It's the athlete who drives the least.
Next up on the ice for Canada, Jennifer Cacchetti, another former brakewoman, and Chelsea Valois. Last year with Kaylee Humphries, she was all but invincible, just came away with such a massive haul of medals from the 2012-13 season. But with the return of Heather Moyse, Heather has taken the #1 spot.
Two great athletes here for Canada in their #2 position. Cacchetti, recently is 2012 a world champion, and the brakeman position with Kaylee Humphries.
That's exactly right. She'd already started driving that season in World Cup, went back onto the brakes to win the World Championship, one last time putting the old band back together.
Inconsistent. Watch this, the line here. Look at bang as she gets up there late on that curve. This is, you know, learning. She's in that learning profile. And bobsled 101 takes an undergraduate degree. Then you got to go to get your master's, 2 more years, and then there's a doctorate involved. That's about 7-8 years in. You finally start to figure out how to steer.
We talked about this in the men's race. So many of the athletes that we saw in the 2-man and the 4-man competitions 4 years ago in the last Olympic cycle were brakemen on the back of the sled. Now they're drivers. Same with Cacchetti. 58.67 for 14th place.
Doesn't surprise us. Goggles, though. Look at the goggles. Not many athletes still wearing goggles in the field.
No, just the 2 Canadian drivers.
The weather, actually, I could see blue sky, which is a little scary.
Yes, I wasn't going to mention that.
It's a little scary. Look at these taps up where the track is slow. Just can't make those mistakes. That was in the exit of the 0 curve, which is a real pain in the butt for a lot of athletes, not only in bobsled, but in skeleton also. Look at the weather.
Now, don't look at the weather. See, now, if I mention it, it'll be accompanied by a clap of thunder. We have already proved that to be the case.
Could happen.
Yes, it certainly could happen. Anastasia Tambov-Seva of Russia, 31-year-old athlete now from Krasnoyarsk, started in luge and went to the Olympic Games twice as a luge athlete, now looking to go as a bobsleigh athlete too.
Down, good technique. Very slow start. I mean, the slowest start in the field. You can't compete. I'm so surprised. The Russia 1 sled's got an Olympic silver medalist from the Athens Olympics 4x100 relay team. driving it, so she's got a good start. She hasn't figured out how to drive yet. This girl here, she can drive, but with that start deficiency, I'm just so surprised that Russians are going to enter the competition with this type of start deficiency. I mean, good driver, but...
Again, I think they're looking for her experience, John. You know, 2 Olympics as a luger and 1 as a bobsleigh pilot. She's looking to go to her 4th Winter Games, so she will be solid in that pressure cooker of it. Can you imagine being a Russian competing in Sochi? It's going to be such mental torment. But you're right, without a start, she's got a lot more than mental torment to worry about.
She's 3,500s down to the leader at the start. That's a second at the bottom. Multiply it by 3. I don't care who you are. You can't overcome that.
She came in 1.2 behind, so she didn't drive to her best either.
Look at the angle here. It really, she was pushing side into the sled instead of that straight up. But then watch the brakeman here. Arms come up, and this, look, she could not get the arms through.
Threw herself
That's
in too far forward, yeah.
Yeah, but their mistake was made before those arms came up. But it's all about technique. I mean, you know, you have to be... If I told you you have to be a good athlete to compete in this sport, would you believe me?
I think I'd go with that, yeah. Just turned 27 yesterday. No, beg your pardon. Not till 28 until the 4th of February, not the 4th of January. Christina Hengster of Austria, 2011 junior world champion.
One of her newer brakemen she's got. She was in for headshots.
Well, the Austrians are very good at finding athletes and bringing them straight into a sled. They did exactly the same thing last year with the men. Viola Kleiser makes her World Cup debut behind Hengster.
Hengster, look how low she is. Look how low. She gets in there lower than anybody. She's got more of a better aerodynamic profile than anybody. That doesn't matter how good you are aerodynamically if you tap the wall out of 5 like she just did. And she's way off the pace.
And Hengster is 5'10". She's no, midget, so she really tucks herself down low.
Big hit out of 8 to 9. She's sloppy here, real hard steering here at 10. This looks like a violent hit right here. Not too bad. Speed, suspect.
Well, that's probably steering to avoid that big hit, has just dragged some speed out of the sled. She's just in front of Jennifer Conchetti and Anastasia Tambov-Seva, and right behind Paula Walker.
Well, when you give up that much time at the start, you have to have perfect drives. That was not a perfect drive. It's almost a bogey.
22 sleds in the field, 20 go through. She's 3rd from last. She will get a second heat no matter what else happens.
She deserves it, but here's 9. What a pivotal part of the track. Look at her try and snake through here. Watch her tap the right side. Then it comes down to the middle of the screen. Now she's got to drive into this curve late, and she's got to steer in that curve. Hopefully, you're trying to get into the curve with the speed and just use the profile with little steering to get around. She had a double steer in there.
The Aussie speed girls, Astrid Radjenovic and Jana Pittman. Pittman, another former track and field medalist at world and Olympic level. And Astrid Radjenovic, now 31-year-old, a vet who was born in Sydney, New South Wales, and defected to the God Zone. She's moved to Brisbane, and now to Serbia as well. Married to Vuk Radjenovic, the Serbian driver.
Talking to her the other day, she told me her dog died. Very sad for her, Vuk, 8-year-old. And, which I didn't know, she's a veterinarian.
Oh, yeah.
She likes to drive bobsleds, but this is her last year. And some of these athletes are looking at the fact that this is their last time ever driving on this track. Yeah. These 2 heats. So there's a lot of personal best ambition out here. There's a lot of Olympic selection and qualification that's out here today. So regular soap opera we got going on.
Well, you know, I spoke to Noel Piker's Pace last night, talking about the women's skeleton race. And I said, what were your thoughts going into the second heat? She said, mainly, this is the last time I will ever slide this track. I'm going to enjoy it no matter what else happens. And you're right, this afternoon, this morning, there'll be a lot of athletes thinking exactly the same.
16th best start time. She had the 13th best, her finish time, she had the 13th best start time, so that wasn't a good run for her, but question begs, is the track chewed up enough where there's just no speed left for the sleds coming down?
I don't think it's holding the speed that it had at the beginning. I think you're right.
Curve 9, and a little airborne, and I'm sure a few heartbeats went up, and then she's got to come in here, deal with the skid into 10. Not the way you want to do it.
Talking to Jana about the future at the end of last season, and she was looking at maybe starting driving herself, and you know, with her athletic prowess and her knowledge now of bobsledding, that would be a very good way to go. See the Aussie girls wearing mix and match suits.
Germans helping them.
Yeah, absolutely.
A little solidarity by the Germans, who smartly pick off countries like the lesser nations to assist.
Next up, second of our Great Britain sleds. Jill Cook spent last year behind Paula Walker. Now she's helping 30-year-old Vicky Ole from London. Vicky in the GB2 sled. Personal trainer now moves down to, shares her time between London, her home, and Bath, where the training goes on. Jill Cook, former high jumper from Edinburgh in Scotland.
Jill Cook, a former world champion for Nicola Minicello and Lake Placid in 2009 as a brakeman. 576, 17th best start, speed 61 kilometers flat. Not bad considering the deficient start time. 61 speed has a lot to do with the power step and the way you get in the sled. If you have a choice of having the best start time or the best velocity after curve 1, you want the velocity.
The 12th best start, if they can hold that kind of position down to the bottom of the track, Vicky will be very happy. But already they've drifted outside top 15 as they get to the Kreisel.
Yeah, there's a late exit. Kreisel, the big bang at 8-9. A lot of steering going on. There'll be a lot more before she's done, and now she sets herself up, and what's it look like here out of 13? Not bad.
Made her World Cup debut in February 2011 in Lake Placid. She's only done a handful of World Cup races. 18th place at the moment out of the 18 that have gone down. 2 sleds won't make the cut in the second heat, but we have 2 World Cup rookies.
Yeah, I got to believe she's going to do it. I think she's got a chance of getting in there.
Yep. Lowest speed we've seen at the bottom, though, 125.9 from the British sled.
Watch the mistake on the exit of Kreisel here. She lets it get up high above those marks, and watch her drive it into the wall on our right side of our screen. Not what you want to do, what we call the exit of Kreisel, the slingshot effect of the bottom part of this track. Well, she needs to go straight, and she did. So easy to sit up here and be critical.
A little bit of sun coming out may have affected the track. Being suggested that track workers have never seen sun before here in Winterberg. Don't know what to do about it. Next up is our World Cup rookie, Serena Caponcelli, with Martina Schiavon behind her. So 2 World Cup debutantes here.
See the type of athleticism that they've got here. First of all, it's the first time we've seen an Italian sled, women's sled, I think since the 2006 Olympics when they won a bronze medal in Torino. Gerta Westensteiner, bronze medal in the 2-man. She won a thing called an Olympic gold medal in luge in 1992, so not too many people can say they've done that.
Gerta had a track cyclist behind her as well, who was also an Olympic champion in track cycling. So that was a very starry team. But you're right, the Italians recreating women's bobsleigh.
It's great just to have them here. You watch out. Skid. Very positive when they come in for the headshots.
Yeah, she's having a decent run at the moment.
Good lines there.
18th place, she's ahead of Vicky Ole of Great Britain at the moment. 19th place now. Ooh, and a little rattle.
Speed is better than the
better than the British sled, exactly right.
19th though.
19th,
200's back.
Wow. Well, Vicky Ole may be able to breathe a little sigh of relief. I'm sure she's right down there on the finish stop watching that run, waiting to see which way it fell. That was very close, just 200s. There's still 3 sleds to go, only 1 spot left in the field.
Well, it's great. Just look at the skid here. Oh, going into Kreisel, above the blue line. Not too many people will get their runner that high above that blue mark. And here, watch the hard tap. Now that forces her down to the middle part of this curve. She's got to steer once. Watch the sled come down. She goes back up, has to steer again. You know, you want to try and minimize the amount of times you got to steer the sled. You want to let the track, the curve take it around if you can.
I think that's a very positive run from the Italians. Welcome to the World Cup. Next up, Misha McNeil, just turned 20 years old, and behind her, equally youthful Sarah Adams. Misha, 2 years ago, raced in the Junior Worlds and in the Junior Olympics at Eagles, and medalled on the podium in both.
Start time, 16th best start, 60.9. You have to get 61 plus kilometers an hour there, which is 38 miles an hour you need.
Right, I'm going to get this out of the way now, John, because these girls crashed in training. Let's hope they don't repeat that in the race.
Well, they just decided to hit a bunch of walls up top. That's not what you want to do. Speed. Of course, this is a 20-year-old athlete. The Great Britain could see her for another 1 or 2 Olympic Games.
Of course, just 2 years into a driving career, so still really learning the techniques and the tracks.
That was close.
And you've got to think that 9 may well have been, I don't know where she crashed, but might well have been one of the focus points on this run. 20th place at the moment, 1:24.9, not great speed. I think she's working very hard with the steering, a lot of steering work going on. They get down in one piece, 59.25. They have to wait for 2 more sleds to see whether she will get a second heat here in Winterberg. There she is from the northeast of England, Misha McNeil, former county hockey and netball player.
I think the brakeman's head came up in the finish real quick. I don't know if we'll see that. Look at the 9 here, though. Doesn't, you know, the best in the world crashed there, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, Steve Holcomb went over yesterday, Corey Butler.
Look at these pictures. Boy, so meticulous to get through that 9 to 10 spot.
Both quite petite girls. Sarah Adams was clinging right to the floor of the sled in corner 9 there, you bet. So 20th of our sleds has gone down, 2 remain. First up, Maria Constantin and Angia Grecu for Romania. Last year, 2 Romanian sleds in the full World Cup tour. This year, with Paul Niagu there in the back, their coach, just the 1.
Niagu's Ruckenschul. He runs a program here where people come up and take bobsled rides, and he's their coach. And I think he competed in the 84 Sarajevo games, or 88 games in Calgary.
Yep.
Then he moved here to Winterberg when the wall came down, and been ever since, and I think his kid's driving.
Yeah, his son competed in the World Cup last year for Romania as well. Andreas.
Start, well, 17th best start.
Well, if they can hold that to the finish, they're in the second heat, John. They've got a little more experience than a couple of the girls around them.
Yeah, she's definitely got more experience. It wasn't a bad line. Watch this, where she comes down the middle here. Oh, you heard that noise. No.
As you said, Paul Niagu, the coach, has been resident here at Winterberg for 20-odd years, so if he can't tell you how to get down here, nobody can. 17th at the moment on split times. She's in the race if she doesn't park it.
Speed is not bad. Should be top 18. Here it is.
She is in, and Misha McNeil of Great Britain is out. 59 flat.
There's Dragos on the left, the FIBT technical coordinator. He might have been on that sled with... No, Dragos was in the Sarajevo Olympics, so Nago came after.
Not too many Romanians at the track, and you saw almost all of them there in that camera shot. Yeah.
Brakeman really running this out long ways.
Yeah.
You know, she should be in way before that.
Well, Maria Constantin still just 22 years old. So she's got a lot more mileage still to come. Some German fans there, some Belgian fans as well, I'm sure, cheering on their brand new team. Rookie Anne van Neuenhuizen and Annelies Holthoff. So this is the second Belgian women's sled making their World Cup debut. Well, that is old school, isn't it? There's Sandra Curiosis and a few other women start on the front handle. Most come from the blocks like their brakewomen do. 17th best start.
Driving those BTC Latvian sleds. Janis Skrakens used to coach the Americans, sell sleds in the open market.
Some good top-end speeds from those BTC sleds as well.
Oh yeah, there's quite a few in the field.
This new Belgian team at the moment in the race, 17th at the start, 19th place at the moment. And finding speed, 95.4. They at the moment are in. This is going to bump out our Italian rookie, Serena Caponcelli.
Watch out. Boy, a lot of steering there. 126, this is good speed.
Not bad
Boy, I
at
tell
all.
you, the Belgian sleds are flying,
There you go.
considering those start times that they're getting.
There's the third member of that second team, and there are the Belgian fans loving that.
World Cup debut.
Yes, makes the field.
Again,
So Serena Caponcelli and Misha McNeil will not get a second run, but our other rookie here, Anne van Neuenhuizen, she will. Well, may not be many Romanians. There's a few more Belgians here, though, judging by the noise.
crossover. Look at those pictures into that. I'm impressed, ladies. World Cup debut, make the cut. Great speed in the bottom. The last 6-8 sleds, I don't think any sled had 126 kilometers. But Jamie Grubel, Brakeman, Aja, Evans put together the second best start time, and they fly down the track, and you know, she's medaled the first 3 races of the year in North America, and you know, Jamie says, I'm coming over here to Europe and proving to people that I can do it over here too.
Bronze, bronze, silver, bronze. That's her record so far this season. At the moment, she has the lead of the race. 1 heat left to decide it. Where will she be? On the podium? On the top step for the first time in her World Cup career. But look at the group behind. 700s cover the top 3, 1400s the top 5. Anybody within 1/3 of a second of the lead still has a shot at a medal here, John. Such tight grouping in this field. 2 sleds do not go through, and that is our Italian rookie, Caponcelli, and Great Britain's number 3 sled, Misha McNeil. Well, lots more racing still to come here in Winterberg, Germany. Join John Morgan and myself, Martin Haven, for the second and deciding heat of this Women's World Cup race number 5. We'll be live on air 11 o'clock Central European time, 10 GMT. Join us then.